I'm so excited to be here. Thank you guys so much for having me, and it's so awesome to see you guys in your uniforms. It's very reminiscent of school days. So I'm Lauren. I grew up in MacBean, Cuba, and I want to read the first poem about one of the first. I didn't spend a lot of time on university's campus, but I had a godmother who did, and she left for America. Anybody know somebody who left for America? No, maybe. Hands up, come on, let me see them. I know you out there. All right, there you go. And so this poem is a letter to my Auntie Patsy, who left when I was like 10 years old after I took common entrance. And I'm like, I'm gonna go see her in America, and I just didn't see her again. So, letter to Auntie Patsy. I can hear your laugh, the breathlessness you clamp your hand around, your shoulders working up and down like wings. You were my first lavish crush. The promise of summers in your new country dulled the edge of your leaving for America, where everything was made and it snowed. For years we yelled, "Bye-bye, Auntie Patsy," every time a plane passed over the house, those mysterious birds, night's unsteady stars. Now I am here in the country I labeled yours before you disappeared, before the envelopes, their stamps like trails, stopped brightening the mailbox, and birthday bills tucked into singing cards no longer made their way to our piggy banks. Gone the hearts above the flourish of your name. For 2 decades, I've imagined you here, your face hidden behind the Times on the subway, your fingers dropping change into every hungry cup. Before you left, you whirled me around the living room until we collapsed giggling. We chanted the months until I would come to you like prayers. I know you've saved our pictures. You wait and wait for me to find you. You don't have to do that all the time. It's poetry, it'll take a while. So this book, my first book of poetry, is called Difficult Fruit. And so it's difficult. There are a lot of losses in here. And hopefully I can take you through those and into the more happy ending. The next poem I'm going to read is actually for a friend of mine who went to college with me in New York, but then also came back here to UE and got his he did his MD here, and then shortly after that he passed away. And this is an elegy. An elegy is a poem for someone who's gone, from Marlon Andre Collins, 1980 to 2010. Your dream was simple, to save the world from moments like this, abrupt calls and their dizzying aftermath, the wild grappling up and down the ladders of memory, looking for answers, for trails to our own human comfort. Marlon, the last time we met, we were at an old man's funeral, and the years of our old fallings out dissolved in the waters of shared grief. And now it is noon on a spring day months later, and you are dead. Your body abandoned in a hospital bed where you left it after you grew too tired of doing what we're asked to do too often on the sad and sunny island we call home, wait to be seen. Marlon, I'm sorry you were alone as the emergency exits in your body sealed shut one by one as the infection flamed through the kerosene trail of your blood. You were burning and no one heard the alarms going off. No one saw the smoke signals in your eyes. No one pounded down the doors, picked the locks, or broke the windows. Miles and years away, we slept on. Is it wrong to hope a stranger asked you your name and held your hand? Friend, I hope death was like a rescue, that he came in a fireman's clothes and carried you on his shoulders out of that fiery house. I hope that like Daniel in the lion's den, the roaring terrors licked close but never touched you. I hope you made it out before the final explosion closed your eyes to this imperfect world. I hope you wake tended by sweetness, with hands that feel like home cradling your face, that it is somewhere where the light is cool and without danger. So when I was at Holy Faith Convent back in the day, I had a wonderful friend who was diabetic, and she just disappeared from the bench one day, like and then we heard that she was ill, and very soon after that she also died. I'm sorry, it's difficult fruit, right? So it's difficult fruit. So this poem is another elegy. It's called How It Touches Us, and it's for Anjani Maharaj. Our teacher trembled at the board as she unraveled the snarl of events, exhaustion, a nap, the sickening realization. Our friend was in a coma. We'd gawked at lunchtime around Anjani's desk, shuddered at her calm as she loaded up the insulin, flicked the needle and slipped it beneath her skin into its live blue tracks. I remember thinking I couldn't bear to live like that. But day after day, when her chair remained empty, I prayed she would come back to her body. Once we'd worked together on a project about the universe and its parts, planets, stars, atmosphere, black holes. I couldn't remember which of us had kept it afterward. The whole class went to the funeral, young and somber in our crisp collars and dark overalls. We shuffled past the coffin where she lay, white-faced and red-lipped as a doll. The pyre waited at the river, its rough frame wreathed like a wedding car with marigolds and loud red hibiscus. Our teacher said we didn't have to, but we followed her into the crowd gathered on the bank. The fire flung sparks like little stars. When the pundit lit the torch to the wood, her mother's wails rose, first a tired thread, then heavier in thick, tangled knots of grief. When her body moved, I was unafraid. I thought we were going to witness a miracle, that she'd get up and walk through the flames grinning. But the motion was mechanical, her muscles stirring as the tendons and ligaments contracted, a reaction to the heat, that was all. No act of God, no resurrection. Instead, the bang, her skull shattering, no longer able to contain her brain as it expanded. The awful realization that all laws of matter must hold true, and she was gone. This one, I found my first communion album because it fell on my head, and I'm a writer, right? So if something falls on your head, it means something. So I wrote a poem, and then I kept writing a lot of poems. So this is the first poem in the 8 series, and this is 7. 7. In this picture, your dress is burning white. Your veil engulfs your head like lacy flames. Your Snoopy watch flares red on your wrist. You clutch your white handbag like a wish. Little Christ bride, you are innocence embodied, down to your white knee socks, Mary Janes and unpierced ears. Your parents are stiff with pride, their afros not yet streaked white with worry. Behind you, your godmothers hold fast to their vows and your shoulders, Nenny George alive and beaming, Auntie Patsy whispering into your ear, real as a statue of Mary in the background. Everything in this moment is true, but even truth is not impervious to time, and we lose so much. Even this day's memories will thin and disappear. But you already sense this, the anticipation already giving way to something else you cannot name, as you solemnly wait to be captured, bend your smile into the camera's light. This is an ode. An ode is a praise poem, right? So it's a poem that's supposed to be happy. And I was like, difficult fruit, but we will have a happy poem if it kills me. And I thought to get a little tension in the poem is that it would be a happy poem about something I didn't like very much, because that helps, right? If you can find a way to praise the difficult. So who has a pot belly here? Okay, just me? All right. And so this is an ode to the belly, right? So I'm just gonna love the belly, just love the belly. So, ode to the belly. You who I grab in disdain, your dark dough spilling from my hands, mark of the Buddha and Budweiser, shame maker, you, belly. You are the dictator of fashion, demand loose dresses, roomy waistbands, rejecting swimsuits that expose. You are what I am measured by, in your fullness, my lack. you melon, you swallowed, unspinning globe. In my dreams, I am free of you. I wear bikinis, I do backflips, touch my toes. But then I wake up wanting to cram the world into my mouth and let it fill you to bursting. Oh, proud belly, you are the life basket, bearer of the 1,000 possible births. You are birthday cake and wedding toasts, fistfuls of buttery first date joy. You are pints of dulce de leche ice cream, scooping up the shards of my heart. You are my father's bread on Christmas morning, potatoes slow cooked in ham fat, marking the New Year's plenty. You are American apple pie, border burritos, curry chicken with the skin on, and Colonel Sanders's 11 blessed herbs and spices. You are each day's necessary moon, the house of singing, the cavern of bliss, the price.